Perhaps you've seen it. Maybe in a dream. A murky, forgotten land.
Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is another Dark Souls 2 quick tip video. This time I'm going to be covering some little factoids and tips that I came across when I was going for the Illusory Ring of the Exalted. For anybody that doesn't know, there are two challenge rings in Dark Souls 2, one for not dying through the entire game, the other one for not using any bonfires. The Exalted Ring is the bonfire one. This is arguably, well, not even arguably, this is decidedly the easiest ring to get out of the two, but it's still awkward for reasons you might not quite realise until you go for it. And I'm just going to give you some tips that I recommend will make your life easier. So the first thing you're going to realise is, because you can't interact with bonfires, you can't fast travel. So there's going to be periods of time where you'll be moving throughout levels where you kinda can't get back from them. You have to move onwards, which means you have to be comfortable moving around with a lot of souls, or using your souls wisely and even planning a route. If you're going to go as deep as plan a route, make sure you stick to it, because I didn't. I just kind of winged it, and I was okay for the most, but there was two instances that really blocked me. The first one is the Lost Bastille. Once you get to the Lost Bastille, you kind of can't get out of it. Like, I don't think you can get back on the pirate ship to go to No Man's Wharf, and you can't get to the other bonfire to get to, the Forest of Fallen Giants. So when you're at that point in the game, you literally have to do all of the Bastille, the Ruined Sentinels, and the Sinner before you can hit the Primal Bonfire and get back to Majula. Because although you can't interact with bonfires, you have to interact with primal ones. And of course, there are 4 primal bonfires in the game, and those are essentially the only warps you will be afforded. But things people don't realise: you can light a bonfire, get the checkpoint, and not sit at it. That is completely fine. That will not void anything, and that will make a lot of this much easier than people think it's going to be. One thing to bear in mind: as soon as you've lit it, that's the only time you can use it as a checkpoint, and there are certain bonfires you really want to abstain from lighting for that very reason, because then you can use Homeward Bones and you can use your advanced knowledge of the game to get away from having to do too much backtracking. Couple of great examples: Drangleic Castle. The bonfire that leads to the Throne of Want, do not hit that on your first journey through Drangleic. It might be tempting to do it because it's a big run back from the Shaded Woods, but don't. Believe you me, guys, I paid a big price here. What you want to do is you want to get to the hidden bonfire that's just before the 2 Dragon Riders and the Queen. Get to that one. It's a simple bonfire. It's not too bad to get to. Hit that one, and then when you come back at the end of the game for Nashandra and the Throne guys, hit the Drangleic bonfire then, so all you have is the Throne of Want run back. My run back was from the Shaded Woods, so just imagine, it wasn't so bad. Oh no, sorry. My run back was from the Forest of the Fallen Giants, Memory of Jay bonfire, so I had to literally go all the way back from that to Majula, all the way back to the Shaded Ruins, all the way back to the castle, all the way down the... It was big, and luckily enough, I didn't die on those bosses except for the one time where the Throne Watchers got me because I tried to do them solo, and I got a bit sloppy, and I got murdered. But it's going to help you so much. And another one I would give as far as this for advice is do not use any bonfires in the dragon area. I would even go as far as to don't use any bonfires in Aldir either, because it'll save you so much time. Like, there are no bosses in the dragon area. If you know how to fight the dragons, you're fine. And if you've got good strategies for the Drake Keepers, you shouldn't really die on them. And the boss of Aldia's Keep is pretty simple once you know what you're doing. So that's an area that you shouldn't really be dying on unless you get unlucky or you get unfavorable AI. So that'll definitely save some time. But the next thing you need to bear in mind, I saw a lot of people on forums saying that you have to do the first part of the game without an upgraded weapon because you can't get in Leningrad's shop due to not being able to rest at the bonfire and reset his position when you open the door. That's just lack of understanding and lack of knowledge, that, guys. All you have to do is quit out of the game and load back up. The safe quit will count as a reset function, and Leningrad will be in his shop knocking, and you can upgrade your weapon as much as you want. So do not go into the game unupgraded because a lack of knowledge. It's just silly and it won't benefit you at all. Another really good thing to bear in mind, buy life gems. You cannot replenish your Estus Flask unless you die. That's the only way to do it, and you can never get it so that it increases how much it heals you, because you can't burn anything. And I've just... Oh, wrong playthrough. I just had a little mind fart then. So what you've got to bear in mind is you've got all these things you're used to doing that you really can't do. So the question is, how good are you at not taking damage in the game? How good are you when you don't have your flask the way you used to have it? And that is something where the life gems will definitely help, because life gems are awesome. And you can buy them from Melentia, and you can buy them indefinitely. And if you've got 99 life gems and you're running around, you will not need your Estus flask. It makes things so much easier. You can be as careless as you need to be. And then the final tip, guys, the one that caught me off guard the most, which I just never thought about it, was the durability. Durability is so much worse in Dark Souls 2 than it's ever been, because things break, you have to look after your stuff. Repair powder is incredibly expensive. Unless you have the repair spell, which is fantastic, but not every build's going to have it, you're going to come into trouble here without the bonfires, because the bonfires fix your shit. And without that, they don't. So you literally are going to have to cycle between weapons unless you have a way to repair them. And there are some ways to repair them that you might not be aware of. The first one is Ring of Protections. Ring of Protections are fantastic for this. When you kill yourself or you die wearing that ring, it will refresh your Estus flask and it'll fix all your shit as long as it's not broken. It'll get that durability back to full. And you want to use this as best you can in some areas, because you're going to go for long stretches with the same weapons. And the amount of time I had weapons with barely any durability on them was far longer than I really should have. And another really good way of fixing this is to get the bracing Knuckle ring. That is going to stop the degradation being so quick, and it's going to help you out. If your weapons do break, fixing them can be a pain in the ass, so you need to be aware of it. It's just durability, durability, durability. It's going to bite you in the ass, you're not going to expect it, and it's one of the things that's going to make stuff more challenging, because I had to kill the Sinner's last quarter of her life with a broken mace. So you can imagine how much fun I was having there, because it was doing nothing, and that was when I landed, because the Sinner is incredibly quick unless you wait for the 3-hitter. But that aside, this really isn't that bad, guys. The most difficult thing is turning off hundreds of hours of conditioning, because all you do in these games is sit at bonfires. All you do all the time is sit at bonfires, and you do it so much that it's literally muscle memory, and the subconscious urge to do it is massive. I literally had to, like a retard, say out loud to myself, don't sit at the bonfires. I had to keep reminding myself because I'm so used to doing it, and that is the true terror of this particular playthrough. Everything else, pretty simple. Just bear in mind, healing, you can't fast travel, so you need to always use those bones and know where you're going and hopefully get back to a place. Use the bonfires as checkpoints to places that'll help you get where you need to be to plant your route. And durability. Durability is massive. And after that, you should get the Illusory Ring of the Exalted. And unfortunately, all this one does is make the weapon in your other hand invisible. So when you have both of them, you can have invisible weapons, which is interesting in PvP, but in PvE, it literally does nothing except not show you what you're using. So yeah, make of it what you will, guys. And that is the end of my tips for the rings. So thank you for watching. Good luck in your endeavours to get them. And as always, you take care now.